Hello and welcome to this module. Today we will provide an overview of the anatomy and physiology of the urinary system. This video is intended to supplement any coursework assigned by your instructor. The objectives of this learning module include describing the anatomy and physiology of the urinary system, including the components, function, the process of urine formation, and the kidney's role in regulating electrolyte balance, acid-base balance, and blood pressure. The urinary system plays a vital role in maintaining homeostasis in the body. For starters, the urinary system controls the fluid balance in the body. For example, if the body becomes dehydrated, the urinary system will function to conserve liquid. The kidneys are the primary components of the urinary system. It is here that waste products and water are filtered from the blood to form urine. The kidneys also play an important role in maintaining acid-base balance in the body. The final synthesis step of vitamin D production, which is important for maintaining healthy bones, is performed by the kidneys. The kidneys work with the circulatory system to regulate blood pressure in the body. Lastly, the majority of erythropoietin, which stimulates red blood cell production, comes from the kidneys. This image illustrates the components of the urinary system, which include the two kidneys, two ureters, the urinary bladder, and the urethra. The kidneys have a comprehensive blood supply provided by the renal arteries, which leave the kidneys via the renal vein. Each kidney consists of an estimated 1 million functional units called nephrons. Following filtration of blood and additional processing, waste exits the kidney in the form of urine and is transported by the ureters to the urinary bladder, where it is stored. The urinary bladder can store up to 500 milliliters of urine in women and 700 milliliters in men, but most people feel the need to urinate when their bladder has between 200 and 350 milliliters of urine in it. Urination may also be referred to as voiding or micturition. In this image, we see a cross-section of a kidney. Unfiltered blood flows into your kidney through the renal artery. This large blood vessel branches into smaller and smaller blood vessels until the blood reaches the filtering unit called the nephron. Each kidney is made up of a million nephrons, and each nephron includes a filter called the glomerulus and a tubule. The nephrons work through a two-step process. The glomerulus filters the blood, and the tubule returns the needed substances to the blood and removes wastes. Filtered blood then returns to the kidney through the renal vein. The approximate 5 liters of blood in our bodies pass through the kidneys about 300 times each day, so the kidneys filter about 1,500 liters of blood per day. This leads to the daily production of about 170 liters of primary urine or glomerular filtrate that later becomes urine. Each kidney contains a region called the renal medulla, which is divided into a series of renal pyramids as seen here. Each renal pyramid contains the small tubules and larger collecting tubules of the nephron. As the primary urine flows through this system of tubes, the kidneys actively reabsorb essential substances such as glucose, ions, and water back into the bloodstream while allowing waste products and excess ions to remain in the tubules. About 1.7 liters of urine are produced like this each day. According to a recent National Institutes of Health study, adults who stay well hydrated appear to be healthier, develop fewer chronic conditions, and tend to live longer than those who may not consume sufficient fluids. The National Academies of Medicine recommends that women consume approximately 2 liters of fluid daily and men consume about 3 liters per day. As seen here, well-hydrated urine is clear to pale yellow in color. Dehydration produces darker, concentrated urine that may also possess the slight odor of ammonia. The renal corpuscle is made up of a tangled capillary network called the glomerulus and a cup-shaped structure called the glomerular capsule or Bowman's capsule. Bowman's capsule surrounds the glomerulus to form a lumen and captures and directs the concentrated filtrate to the proximal convoluted tubule. The cells lining the surface of the proximal convoluted tubule are covered in minute finger-like projections called microvilli that increase the surface area available for reabsorbing water and solutes such as sodium, chloride, and glucose. The proximal convoluted tubule connects to the loop of Henle, also called the nephron loop. The loop of Henle plays a pivotal role in concentrating urine and regulating the body's water balance. It does this by creating a concentration gradient in the surrounding tissue that enables the reabsorption of water and electrolytes, such as sodium chloride, from the filtrate as it passes through the loop. The loop of Henle connects to the distal proximal tubule, which is responsible for further fine-tuning the reabsorption of electrolytes, particularly sodium and calcium, and for regulating the pH of the urine by secreting hydrogen ions and reabsorbing bicarbonate ions. The collecting ducts are continuous with the nephron but are not technically a part of it. Each collecting duct receives filtrate from multiple nephrons and selectively reabsorbs water and adjusts the concentration of urine based on the body's hydration status. Additionally, it helps regulate the balance of sodium, potassium, and hydrogen ions in the urine to maintain overall fluid and electrolyte homeostasis. The renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system, or RAS, is the system of hormones, proteins, enzymes, and reactions that regulate blood pressure and blood volume on a long-term basis. It regulates blood pressure by increasing sodium reabsorption, water reabsorption, and controlling vascular tone. The renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system involves several steps. When the blood pressure falls, the kidneys release the enzyme renin into the bloodstream. The liver makes and releases angiotensin, which is split by renin into pieces. One of these pieces is the hormone angiotensin 1. Angiotensin 1 is inactive and does not have any effects, but is further split into pieces by angiotensin converting enzyme, or ACE. One of those pieces is angiotensin 2, which is an active hormone. Angiotensin 2 causes the muscular walls of the arterioles to constrict, which increases blood pressure. Angiotensin 2 also triggers the adrenal glands to release aldosterone and the pituitary gland to release antidiuretic hormone. Together, aldosterone and ADH cause the kidneys to retain sodium. Aldosterone also causes the kidneys to excrete potassium through the urine. The increase in sodium in the bloodstream causes water retention. This increases blood volume and blood pressure, thus completing the renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system. The body contains a large variety of ions, or electrolytes, which perform a variety of functions. Important electrolytes in the human body include sodium, potassium, chloride, bicarbonate, calcium, and phosphate. The kidneys help maintain electrolyte concentrations by filtering electrolytes and water from the blood, returning some to the blood, and excreting any excess into the urine. One of the primary mechanisms for electrolyte regulation is glomerular filtration, where blood is filtered to create a fluid called glomerular filtrate. This filtrate contains a mixture of water, electrolytes, and waste products. As the filtrate travels through the renal tubules, the kidneys selectively reabsorb or excrete specific electrolytes to maintain the body's electrolyte balance. When sodium levels in the blood are low, aldosterone prompts the kidneys to reabsorb more sodium, increasing its concentration in the bloodstream. Conversely, excess sodium is excreted in the urine to help regulate sodium levels. The kidneys regulate potassium levels by either reabsorbing or excreting potassium ions based on the body's needs and hormonal cues. By precisely modulating the reabsorption and excretion of electrolytes like sodium and potassium, the kidneys contribute significantly to the overall homeostasis of the body, ensuring proper functioning of various physiological processes. The kidneys use two methods to maintain acid-base balance. They can reabsorb bicarbonate from the urine back to the blood, and they can secrete hydrogen ions into the urine. By adjusting the amounts reabsorbed and secreted, the kidneys balance the pH in the bloodstream. The body continually produces acids through various metabolic processes and the breakdown of nutrients. To counteract this, the kidneys filter the blood and selectively reabsorb bicarbonate ions from the glomerular filtrate in the renal tubules. Since bicarbonate acts as a base, it helps to neutralize excess acids in the bloodstream. Conversely, when the blood becomes too alkaline, the kidneys can excrete excess bicarbonate in the urine and help restore proper pH level. When the blood becomes too acidic, the kidneys can excrete more hydrogen ions into the urine while retaining bicarbonate ions, which effectively raises the pH of the blood, making it less acidic. Conversely, when the blood becomes too alkaline, the kidneys can conserve hydrogen ions and excrete more bicarbonate ions, helping to lower the blood pH. This enables the kidneys to maintain the body's normal pH between 7.35 and 7.45, thus ensuring that physiological processes continue to occur optimally. In summary, the urinary system plays an important role in waste elimination, fluid balance, blood pressure and red blood cell regulation, and acid-base balance, all of which are required for sustaining the body's physiological equilibrium and overall well-being. This brings us to the end of this presentation. Here we see the learning objectives for this module. Can you demonstrate each of these objectives? If not, consider going back and review any content that you struggled with. Thank you for watching this learning segment.